Hello, you guys. I'm here to talk about some runes. So, if you want to learn some runes here, you guys, I highly recommend getting a book, because there's really kind of like no way I can actually really teach you unless you're sitting next to me every day. But um, this is a very, very good book. I highly recommend it. It's called Runes for Beginners, and it's by Lisa Chamberlain. So, you may be able to find this book in, a local bookstore or where they sell runes. Usually where they sell runes, you can, you might be able to find that book there. All right. That's where I found that book. It's a very, very good book. And you guys, I learned an awful lot from this book. I've got other books as well, but this is the first book that I got. And there's 21 runes to a set, and that does not include the blank rune. So if you include the blank rune, there's 22. All right. And they come in 3 different sets. They come in 3 different sets. You have the Friar's Et, the Hogel's Et, and the Tyre's Et. And I'm probably not pronouncing that right. But the Friar's Et, and you can see where I wrote up here, this is the psychological level. All right? This is the psychological level. The Hogel's Alert is the psychological level, and the Tries at is a spiritual level. All right, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Probably I'm not, but anyway. And a good idea too is if you look in the back of this book. You see all these blank pages? You can go back here and write down. I don't have a pen here with me. Otherwise I would do that. I didn't learn this way, but this is a good way for you to learn. Pretty easy. Write down the rune right here, like Fehu, and then write down the page of where it's at. See, there's Fehu. See Fehu? All right, so and we'll look in here and try to find out. I'm just using this book as an example. Your book is going to be different. It's going to vary. It depends on what book you get. I suggest this one. This is a good one. But you see that Fehu is right here on page 72 in my book. All right. And here are the meanings: wealth, prosperity, abundance, reward, good health, and beginnings. Really good rune. Fehu, I'm going to pull it out of here and we're going to find it. Fehu means a lot more than that, though. But when you start learning runes, you have to kind of like take it slow and just a step at a time. And don't expect to know everything right away, because you won't. There it is. There's Fehu. And so now Fehu is talking about this particular card. It means moving cattle. And moving cattle is money. Back in the day, the more cattle you had, the richer you were. So if you had a lot of cattle, man, you were really rich. And so this is money. All right. Another good thing for you to learn too, Pisces, and I did this for myself, is to buy yourself some cards like this. these are little flashcards. Now, I never actually used them for flashcards. See, it's got the meaning on the back. Because by the time I got these flashcards, I already knew them. So I bought these cards so you guys could see them. But you know, having flashcards can actually help you remember them. They can help you remember what they are just by, you know, by looking at it. Also, I wanted to suggest to Pisces, or everybody, I'm saying Pisces, is you can, you know, when you go to a place to buy your runes, make sure you get a set that you really like. Okay, a set that you feel really close to. You know, I still have my original set. I'll show you my original set here. These are my original runes. These are the ones that I really learned on. And the reason I don't really use them anymore is because they're awfully small. And you can't really see them. This is the sun, by the way. I don't know if you can see it or not. Pretty hard to see. But they are very beautiful runes. They really are. And so just get a set that you really like, you know. And the main thing here is when you get a set, it might be a good idea, and this might sound kind of weird to you, but and I did this, is you don't want, for number one, you don't want anybody touching your runes, okay? These are personal. You know, runes are personal, so you don't want anybody touching them. And what I did was I just took my runes and I tied them off really, really tight like that, and then I just carried them with me everywhere I went for, you know, for about a week. And at nighttime I would keep them tied up and then like put them under my pillow and sleep. You know, that way my energy would soak into the runes, and you know, to make them really truly mine. That's why I don't like, you know, I don't let other people touch my runes. Or my cards for that matter either. You know, it depends upon what deck of cards, but I generally don't like other people touching my my runes for sure. Right? The main thing about runes, you guys, is when you get a book or something and you know, like I was going to say, you know, you can write in the back of the book. You can put the rune right here, like say for example, Wong Yu, and just draw the little P right there and make a square, and then write Wong Yu, and then put the page of the where the information is on that rune right here. And so when you're doing a reading, you can just go to the back and you'll know exactly what page to go to, and then go to that page. And that'll help you remember as well by writing them down and going back and forth. It will also help you remember the runes. All right. Now sorry about that, you guys. The most important thing about reading the runes is using your intuition, and it depends upon how the runes are set out. Like, for example, I want to give you an example. Let's pour these out here. Now, I had a really tough read earlier today. I had Rido right there, and then I had I'm trying to find the blank runes. Then I had 2 blank runes. Where the heck is the other one? There it is. And this was in somebody else's energy in the reading. Anyhow, you know, in this reading, from what I saw, I felt that this person is going through some sort of a reroute in their life. Like they could be traveling. Righto means wagon wheel, okay? And so now wagon wheel is your ride, right? So in reverse, it can mean, you know, some sort of obstacle in transportation. But I didn't feel that way because the rest of the runes looked really too good, all right, for something like that. So the next thing that I come to the conclusion of is that righto in reverse also means like some sort of a change in their life or some sort of leveling up spiritually. And with the blank rune, they could be working on themselves and having to make some sort of a decision to come towards you. Because, you know, I felt that this particular person, you know, for some reason it just came to my head that maybe they were having some sort of an addiction problem, okay? And that's not necessarily for everybody. I don't even know why I said that, but that just needed to be said. So when you're reading the runes, in other words, is, you know, it's not necessarily always the correct thing, but the first thing usually that comes to your mind is usually the right thing. And it's usually the right thing for somebody, for the right person to hear that. And I'll give you an example here, like in the book. You know, when I was first learning Pisces, I would like, okay, for example, let's say I pulled Awaz right here. This is the death rune, right? And so, for example, I pull the death rune, and it means so much. Look at how long this is. Okay, it talks all about Awaz and all the different meanings. But what I would do is the first thing that my eyes hit on the book is what I would get. Okay? It's always the first thing that comes to your head usually is the correct thing before you have a chance to think. The only thing that you have to think about, you guys, is, you know, the meaning. So when you go back to the meaning, the first thing that your eyes lay on is usually what it's talking about. Okay? That's trusting spirit. You know, you have to kind of like, you have to be like that, especially when you're first learning. And you're not always going to be right. You're not always going to be right. And even now, you know, even me, I'm not always right. But it takes, you know, many, a long time. It takes a long time, a few years before you really kind of start to figure it out. But, yeah. And when I'm putting these runes together, let's make up a reading here. Let's see, we have the Death Rune here, Ingwa's here, Jera there, Nathi's here, Wang Yu here, Linez here, reverse, Pertho, Gabo, and let's see, let's make this easy. Isa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now the first thing I wanted to explain to you, Pisces, the reason I pull 9 runes out is because you don't want to go more than 9 runes when you're reading runes. Okay, this is just a made-up read. It looks like a pretty good read, too, honestly. But the way that I do it is, you know, I always attach every rune that is touching each other. That's the first rule. For example, This rune here is touching this rune here. But this rune here is also touching here, as this rune here is touching here. That probably doesn't make no sense to you, does it? What I mean by that is that this is like the death rune, okay? For example, this is the beginning of something new, and it's touching Ingwaz. And Ingwaz is very potent, procreative energy, all right? And it can be sexual energy as well. I do see that. I don't really feel that would be sexual energy in this particular read because, well, it could be. Actually, come to think of it, it could be. On something like this, I would have to really zone out into it, and it would have to be a real read, and I'd probably pull cards on that just to get a better idea. Okay? But Ingwaz is something that is that usually propels somebody forward in a very powerful and potent way, and it's procreative energy, and it can be saying also, it can either be very positive and very good. It could also be a warning if you don't want to get pregnant and this comes up, because that's very potent. So that would be telling you to be careful if you didn't want to get pregnant. It depends upon the context of the read and what you want to know. And so I never usually, when my reads, I never really usually go down a path too much. I kind of went down that path a little bit too much today with Virgo, because I was emphasizing with Virgo about that I thought, somebody, has maybe some sort of an addiction. And, that came to my mind, but it's not for everybody. And, I might have emphasized a little bit too much on that. So, when you're reading runes, things like that happen. They do. Then you have Jera here. Jera is talking about balance. See how it's balanced? And it's also talking about a breakthrough. So in the context of the reading, it could be some sort of a breakthrough. Now, if this was a breakthrough, this is awesome because it's touching Nathis. And Nathis is like a rune of lacking. So if you were lacking something, that's going to turn around right over here. See? And it's also touching Wang Yu, which is happiness and joy. So something like that would make you really very happy. You see how I'm doing the runes? I don't know if you quite understand that. But what I'm doing here, this is your energy. This particular rune right here, Nathis, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's number 4. This is advice. This is advice. So you could be coming from lacking or learning. Since this is an advice, I take that back. Since this is an advice, you guys, this is like learning something. This is telling you that you've learned something, and that to take whatever you have and learn from it. So in this particular context, this wouldn't be lacking. This would be more learning because of where it's sitting. It's sitting here in number 4. Now, if it was sitting over here, that would be lacking. All right? And then with Jera, that would be bringing balance, and it would go away with Wang Yu. But right here, this is learning. So you see what I mean? It's a little tricky. Now, this last rune right here, Wang Yu, is touching Nawaz. This is the death rune. It's touching is touching this rune here because this is the last rune in your pull. This is number 5. This is the last rune. So this is like happiness and joy from something new that has started. All right? Now this is also the beginning of the reading for this other person. So this Wangyu is attached to Isa and to Menez. So now this is somebody else's energy over here, and we're kind of working backwards now. And so since we're working backwards, it's harder for, I can't really distinguish what this one means until I can see this one. All right, it's a little different this way with your energy than it is with their energy. Pertho here is something unknown. Pertho means unknown. Menez in reverse is talking about hermit mode, being in hermit mode. This other person's energy is in hermit mode. This also is talking about somebody that is very self-sufficient and doesn't really require any assistance from anybody whatsoever. Because Menez in reverse is talking also not only about the hermit mode, but it's also talking about being self-reliant. Right. And so, and then we have Pertho, which is their energy. And Pertho is Libra energy. So this person here in this energy, this could be somebody with Libra in their chart. Doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be somebody with Libra, in in their chart somewhere, or it could be somebody with Libra traits. That's what I was looking for. But with Pertho there's something unknown. Something unknown. This is something unknown. This means unknown. It's next to Gable. It's a blessing. So this would be something that is unknown, but it's not as bad as they seem. Maybe this person here, maybe this is a challenging read, really, even though I just laid them out and it's a mock read. This person here is like in hermit mode and not receiving any assistance at all. All right? And maybe they hit a bump in the road. Maybe they hit a small little bump in the road, but they got Pertho right here. And Pertho is saying that things aren't as bad as they are, all right? Things aren't as bad as they seem. I think that this person wants to share something with you, share something with this person. This would be like the unknown to you. And it could also be the unknown to them as well. Now that I'm really looking at this read, you guys, Pertho would be talking about something unknown to them that is not as bad as they think, because they have many blessings right here. There's Gabo. And with Isa right next to it, it's just taken them a long time to be able to get here, to get to this new beginning. So that's how I read the runes. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if you really kind of understood that or not. Let me know in the comments, please. Yeah. And so the only thing is, you guys, if you want to, learn the runes, just go to the store where they sell runes. And, pick out a set that you feel comfortable and you really like. and then just take them home and practice, and carry your runes with you every day for a week or something. That's what I would do, because it absorbs your energy. It does. Another thing about the runes too is to use your intuition. Like I said, the first thing that pops to your head, like I did with Libra, they had 2 blank runes there. I'm thinking, huh. Now I'm kind of like thinking, maybe I shouldn't have emphasized so much on the substance abuse, but I just felt that, and so it just came out. So that's how you read runes, really. You have to go by what your gut says and what your gut feels. All right, and usually the first thing that comes to the mind is the first thing that needs to be said. And it's like I said, when I first started learning how to read runes, I'd pull a rune out, and then, I started off with 3 runes. So, you might want to start off with 3 runes and make it simple. You could do past, present, and future. Okay, you can do that. That's really easy. Past, present, and future. It's not this is that and that is this, like I just showed you the way I do it. It's a little easier. It's a good start. It's a good way to memorize your runes. So, Awaz, something new began, and it's prospering right now with Ingwaz. Very, very procreative, producing. And then you have over here Jera. Jera would be like the future, major breakthrough, surprise. Yeah. So yeah, you see how that went? You just gotta kind of like practice, but me teaching you, I can sort of teach you how I lay the runes out. I mean, I don't really think that there's a book anywhere that that reads the runes the way that I do. That's why I was thinking about possibly putting together a book and actually selling it, because I think that I read the runes differently than I've seen a lot of different books. This is a very good book, you guys. Lisa Chamberlain, Runes for Beginners. But even in that book, it doesn't tell you how to lay the runes out the way I do. Okay, and the reason I can't really honestly explain it to you how I figured that out the way that I do it, and there's no book that shows you how I do it. There's not. I guess everybody has different techniques, but I feel that Spirit has guided me and actually kind of like infused inside of me to learn, because when every read that I do, even now, I learn something from it. And I also learn a lot from feedback from other people. And so that's how I've come to the conclusion of reading the runes the way that I do, because the way that I'm reading them now for me, is way more accurate than the way some stupid book tells me how to lay them out. All right? I don't know. I just lay them out the way Spirit kind of guided me to lay them out. And of course, the 3 runes is really easy. You can probably find that in any book. I think it's even in the book that I have, but I never really looked at that. But, it's a good way to start. Just pull 3 out at a time. All right, past, present, future. All right. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this video. It's a little bit kind of boring, and I think it's kind of boring, but I don't know. I hope you guys got something out of it, and if you like what I've done, I can share some more. I think honestly though, your very best bet would be go out and get you a set of runes and get you a good book. Don't necessarily have to get the same book I got, but get you a good book and go to the back of the book and write them down, and then write the page number down where the meaning is, and then that way you can just look in the back and then go right over there and look. All right. And so anyway, I'll also get into these warm runes here, the next time I do another kind of like educational video. But anyway, there you have it, you guys. Please leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. And for the rest of you, I'm really sorry if I bored you to death. But anyway, well, there you have it. And I'll talk to you guys again later on. For Pisces, I'll see you guys later on today. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.